Good morning and welcome to another edition of Our Town here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. My name is Darren Swinson. Our Town, as always, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. We have a four-guest program this morning. Our final guest a little later on in the program will dip into the toy department as we will talk to former Crestwood cadet and UNI linebacker Spencer Cuvelier, a preseason FCS All-American, nominated for the All-State Good Hands team this year, preseason All-Missouri Valley Football Conference player, and UNI linebacker. He was named one of the captains for this year's UNI team earlier this week. Had a chance to talk with him at UNI's Media Day on Wednesday. We'll have that conversation. We'll have the first of our series of regular conversations with Tim Cronin. He is the new superintendent of the Decorah Community School District. Quite a few interesting things to talk about on that front. And, of course, a couple of events coming up this weekend. We're going to steal some of the work, the fine work that Val Reinke does on Wednesdays and Saturdays. The Wow Who Knew program airs on Bluff Country 103.5 KNEI Wednesday afternoons at 5:15 and Saturday mornings at 7:30. And Val talked to Tara Kolsrud this week. Tara is with the Lansing Fish Days Committee. Fish Days taking place this weekend in Lansing. We'll have that conversation, and we thank Val for letting us take some of her work. And don't forget to listen to Wow Who Knew Wednesday afternoons and Saturday mornings on Bluff Country 103.5 KNEI. But first things first, we're going to talk youth mentoring and a special program that's going to be taking place at the Landing in Decorah tonight. Kathy Schwartzhoff is here to tell you all about it. We'll have that conversation to kick off Our Town, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Joining us this morning is Kathy Schwartzhoff, our friend from Helping Services for Youth and Family. Haven't had her on in a while. That's my fault, not yours, Kathy. Good to have you back on the show.
Yeah, glad to be here.
And related to Helping Services for Youth and Family, you've been a big part of the mentoring program. And related to youth mentoring, you guys got a big event coming up tonight. Tell us all about it.
We do. We're really excited. We have what is called Tasty Thursday, and it will be at the Landing here in Decorah. That's 211 College Drive, and the Landing has many places that you can eat and drink and enjoy time just sitting on a comfy couch or a comfy chair. And we will be asking people to come to that are interested in mentoring, whether they want their child to be involved, whether they are wondering what it would be like to volunteer through the mentoring program. We would love to chat with folks. And then, of course, we're inviting some of our mentors and our mentees, and there will be free ice cream.
Score!
I know. So what is better than that this time of year? So we would invite folks to come.
No doubt about it. How'd you come up with such a creative idea to get together and talk about the mentoring program and offer these services? Because nothing cleanses the palate like free ice cream, obviously, but also the programs that you provide.
Yeah, we came up with this idea a couple years ago when we were talking with Nathan Todd, one of the co-owners of the Sugar Bowl, and he just said, how can we become the Sugar Bowl more involved with youth mentoring? We support youth, we serve a lot of youth, we want to be part of things. And of course that was before COVID, but we began at their downtown Decorah location, and then COVID hit, and that course threw a loop in everything that everybody does, and we kind of varied it a little bit and have landed, pun intended, at the Landing Market because they also have a Sugar Bowl location there, plus other food items, and then too, you're not dependent on, you know, the weather. There's more space. And one of the things that we do at the event is we have board games, card games available. There's time for conversation. There's definitely time for free ice cream. And time for people to just chat about if they want to talk to us mentoring staff, if they want to talk to a fellow mentor, or they want to talk to somebody that is mentoring and see what it's all about. There's just that opportunity to do it. So we came up with this idea, and we do it every second Thursday of the month, always at the Landing Market from 5:30 to 6:30. Folks can stay the entire time if they like to, if they're on their way home from work and go, oh yeah, I want that free ice cream and I need to talk to Kathy or Colleen. Come on by, just grab your ice cream, get the information you need, and be on your way. So it's really up to each person to decide how much time they'd like to invest tonight at the event.
And it's a perfect night to have dessert first. I think that would be allowed with an event like this, correct?
Yeah, definitely. And there are people that like anxiously await the second Thursday because they've got their favorite flavor that they enjoy. So we encourage everybody to come and check it out.
And tell us overall about the youth mentoring services that Helping Services for Youth and Family provides. Tell us about the program itself, how many people are involved, and how others can get involved.
Yeah, we have been operating in Alameda, Howard, and Winneshiek for about 20 years. We also have a satellite office in Delaware County, and they've been offering services just a little bit, I think around 10 years. And we serve kids between the ages of 6 and 16. Mentors are folks who want to spend a minimum of 4 hours a month with the youth. We have several models available so that there could be individuals who do this, which is kind of the most common way that people see mentoring. There's also the idea that a couple could do this. So it could be a married couple, it could be two friends, it could be two brothers, whatever. We had two sisters that mentored a youth for many years, and that worked out really nicely. We also have families who do this. There's a family in Howard County that has two teenage kids, and they absolutely love spending time with their two mentees that they have. And so there's those models. Then there's also community-based, where somebody goes out in the community and does things that they enjoy. There's also the opportunity called school-based, that mentors can go right to the school and spend time with the youth. And that's an hour a week pretty much on a weekly basis.
And oftentimes when you think about a mentoring relationship, we think about that one-on-one relationship. And you mentioned how there's different types of relationship related to the mentoring program. Is that something that has kind of evolved in the course of the history of this program?
Yeah, it definitely has. And we've seen really marked changes in youth. We've had several kids in the past while who have really been super shy when they started, and really changed their life. One gal just recently told her mentor, she said, "You're lucky I talked to you." And the mentor said, "Oh," and she said, "You're one of the few people that I trust." And that's just really wonderful when things like that happen. And you think about youth today, they need more than just their parents to have someone to look up to, someone to talk to, and just share their thoughts and their concerns and what's joyous for them and all kinds of things.
And obviously on the surface, you can see the value in the mentee. What do the mentors get out of this program?
Well, the mentors oftentimes say that they feel young again.
Cool.
That they get to go to the Disney movie that they really wanted to see and don't feel awkward about it, or they see things through the eyes of the youth. They can go to a pumpkin patch and they've been there before as an adult and see it quite differently than they do when they're with the youth. And so those are kind of the big things that are a big benefit. And we've had volunteers say that this is one of the most valuable types of volunteering that they do, because they feel like they really are needed and are helpful and adding to the life of a youth.
And anything we're missing either about tonight's event over at the Landing or mentoring in general?
The biggest shout out I want to give is we really need men. We've got boys who are waiting in our program that have waited many years because they're asking for a male to be their mentor. And sometimes gentlemen feel like this is more of what women do kind of thing. And we want to break that myth to have people understand that there are young men who need those male adult role models to be there for them. And it's not going to happen if you watch for other people to do it. It's time to step up and be that person and talk to your buddies and say, hey, let's all apply together and we'll do a training with mentors so that they understand what they're getting into and how it all works and support them along the way. And we really need the men to step up. Now's the time.
All right, Kathy, we appreciate you taking some time and telling us about tonight's event at the Landing. There's free ice cream from 5 to 6:30, and you get to talk about a great program from Helping Services for Youth and Family. Always great having you on the show, Kathy. Thanks for the time this morning.
Yeah, and just want to clarify the time's 5:30 to 6:30. So
Okay.
Be sure to get there at that time. And if you're there at 5, you might have to wait just a bit for me to get there and stuff. But we'll greet you and you'll enjoy your lick of ice cream.
All right. It'll be well worth their wait, I'm sure. Kathy Schwartzhoff from Helping Services for Youth and Family joining us this morning.
Hi, this is Val Ranke with the Alameda Economic Development and Tourism, the host for Wow Who Knew in Northeast Iowa, the best part of Iowa. Alameda Economic Development and Tourism will bring you the best of Alameda County each week. You can catch this segment Wednesdays at 5:15 p.m. and Saturdays at 7:30 a.m. on KNEI. Hey, thank you, KNEI listeners, for tuning into our show. This is all about bringing you the best of Alameda County each week. Today, I'm visiting with Tara Kolsrud from the Lansing Fish Days 2022 Committee. Tara, welcome to the Wow Who Knew radio show. How are ya?
I'm doing well, Val. Thanks for having me to talk about Fish Days.
I love it. Well, let's start it out. Fish Days. Let's make sure we get the dates and times for everybody that's out there listening.
Okay, so this year we will have Lansing Fish Days. It'll be Friday, August 12th, Saturday, August 13th, and Sunday, August 14th. We will also have bingo on Thursday night on August 11th at 6:30 p.m. at the high school.
Nice. So Fish Days has been around for a while. I do know that. And I am sure there are some activities that are pretty popular. What are some of the activities that people just wait for Fish Days?
I would say one of our most popular is Friday night. We have the kids tractor pull and big wheel races. And every participant receives a free t-shirt. So right there, your $5 button pays off if you have kids, because who can't use more t-shirts?
True.
And some of our other popular events that we have coming back this year are the 5K and 8K walk run. The 8K is really popular. That one goes up Mount Hosmer for those that want more of a challenge. The beanbag tournament is always popular. And, of course, catfish sandwiches from the VFW and the cold beverages at the fire department at the beer tent is always popular.
That sounds all right with me. A catfish sandwich, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, they sell out early, so get there early.
Now, I know that you guys have the Venetian boat parade this year. You don't always have that, but maybe tell our listeners a little bit about that so they know what would be in store.
Yeah, so our Venetian boat parade, we hold that every 3 years, but it's been 4 years since we've had it because we had to cancel in 2020, as many events had to. Basically, the gist of it is locals and even non-locals deck their boats out with decorations and lights. And this year is extra special because we are celebrating the Black Hawk Bridge, because this will be the last year that we have a Venetian boat parade that will go under the Black Hawk Bridge before it is replaced.
Aw. I love that.
Yeah.
So do a lot of people
celebrating.
kind of just stand along the shoreline there? Is that kind of what the onlookers do?
Yeah, so most people watch from the shoreline because the river channel is actually closed to any traffic other than boats that are participating. We do have smaller boats with lanterns, and they kind of spread out. So just for safety reasons, the Coast Guard works with us, and we close the channel off to anyone that's not participating in the boat parade. So spectators just line up on the shoreline.
I love that. All right, so we've got the popular events. We've got the Venetian Boat Parade coming up this year. Any new activities on the calendar for this year?
We do have some new events. We're really excited about Friday night. We have the Coulee Region Steel Drum Band, mostly out of La Crosse, coming, and they'll be playing from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the main fest grounds tent.
Okay.
We tried to add a couple youth activities. We have some rock painting on Saturday from 1:30 to 3. At 1 on Saturday, we're going to do a water balloon fight for the kids. And then also there is going to be a dunk tank this year, which we haven't had in many years. So some local police officers, teachers, community members will be in the dunk tank for people to come. And there is an extra charge. I'm not positive what that is.
Okay.
But everyone can have a shot at dunking them.
Tara, hey, let's share the details again on those dates and times for Lansing Fish Days for our listeners.
Okay, so Fish Days, again, will be held Friday, August 12th through Sunday, August 14th, with activities running all through the day and late into Saturday night, with the boat parade on Saturday night at 9 and fireworks at 10.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tara Kolsrud from Lansing Fish Days, the 2022 committee. Thank you for joining me today on the Wow Who Knew radio show.
Thanks, Val. Thanks for letting me talk a little bit about Fish Days.
Love it. Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening, and please tune in next week for the next segment of Wow Who Knew in Alameda.
For the first time as on the job, shall we say, we're having a conversation with Decorah School Superintendent Tim Cronin, a month and a half almost into his new position in the Decorah Community School District. Tim, how's it going thus far?
It's going great. Yeah, I am on the phone. So there you go. I'm busy and I don't know how to put my phone on Do Not Disturb just yet. I'm learning as we go. No, it's been, I'd like to take credit for a month and a half, even though I know I'd be fudging the numbers there. It's a great start. I love it here in Decorah. I'm getting lots of good information, meeting lots of people, and there's plenty of stuff to do, so to keep me busy. So it's been really good. Kind of a nice start to the year.
And I know you've transitioned from different jobs to different school districts in the past. What have you learned from those experiences of transitioning into a new district that will help you do as good of a job as you can from the get-go in Decorah?
Well, a couple of things, and I kind of highlighted this when I went through the interview process, but I'd start with make sure you listen to as many different people as you can. And I said a couple times, you don't tear up a fence until you know why it was put down. And that kind of helps you from stepping in something like, well, just because I was in a district that didn't do something a certain way and I come here and I'm like, oh, we're going to change this right away. There might be a darn good reason that we're doing that here in Decorah. So listening first, having just kind of a broad range of experiences has kind of helped me, I would say, especially being a small school superintendent, just because you got your hands in lots of stuff. Like I might be involved in Central City with helping the elementary class list get posted. Well, in a big district, I don't have to do that kind of stuff, because obviously elementary principal, we've got one, and secretaries and stuff, but just kind of maybe knowing how stuff works has helped me with transition. And then just kind of that idea of sometimes you go slow to go fast, just the idea that there's a little bit of patience and I'm not going to be up to full speed after a month and a half. I'm not going to be up to full speed. It's not going to be that I'm not going to be taking in information and processing stuff. But, I've always felt like when I've been in a new job, it's taken, a little while to kind of understand the community, the district, and how that interplay works. So just kind of being a little patient with myself, because, I want to know everything right away. And I know just from past experiences that that's not feasible. There's
probably three issues, I would say, that you're jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire in your position that the district is dealing with right now. First thing, it's been a topic of discussion for a few months, and it's really talks about this that have happened for a few years now, and that's the future of the Northeast Iowa Conference. Of course, the superintendents this past spring removed Waverly from the conference at this end of this current school year, but of the 5 districts that are still remaining in the conference, if you will, yourself and 2 others, so 3 of the 5 have new superintendents this year. So where are those talks at right now?
So you're exactly right. We haven't, our conference group hasn't met since July 1. And it's not that we just had new people and kind of the summer kind of getting together. I know we've got plans to meet and kind of work on our strategy later in August, early part of September. I can tell you that one thing Waverly Shell Rock has done is they've asked for the state to mediate their request to join the WAMAC. If you're familiar, they asked to join the WAMAC for all sports except for wrestling, and they asked to join the Mississippi Valley for wrestling. And they got denied on both of those. And so they turned around and asked the state to mediate that request. So they're saying, hey, we still want to join the conference. And, part of their point is we don't have a conference to be in. So the state comes in. And I don't know how often that has happened where the state's mediated, but I could send you articles. You go back and look. That did happen with the Tri-Rivers Conference right before I became the superintendent at Central City. And it involved more schools, but it was the kind of thing where Lisbon wanted to join the Tri-Rivers and the Tri-Rivers wanted Lisbon, but the rest of the Big East schools wanted to join. And so that would be like Cal-Wheat or Kalamazoo-Wheatland and Midland. They said, well, if Lisbon goes, we just want to join the Tri-Rivers as well. And they had the state mediate that because the Tri-Rivers took Lisbon, but turned down the others. And the state mediated that conference, and the state kind of did a couple things. They put people together, and then they grabbed a couple other schools that weren't even involved in the Tri-Rivers or Big East, and they made a new conference out of the deal. So just understanding that when the state gets involved in mediation, there's no guarantees that they wouldn't look at the whole process. I'm not saying that they will this time. They could just come in and say, Waverly, Shell Rock, we're going to make the WAMAC take you. But if they don't do that, could they put Waverly Shell Rock in a different conference? Yes, they could. And I'm not going to say any other conferences names, but you might be able to guess on that. And I think we need to get the Waverly Shell Rock final home resolved, because I think it'll be easier for the Northeast Iowa then to market, or recruit other members. So as of right now, we don't have anyone who's accepted our invitation, and we sent those invitations out to a number of schools, including, around here, Osage and North Fayette Valley and MFL. So I think we need to get Waverly Shell Rock. That needs to be resolved. It'll probably be the next big thing that you'll hear about. So
when you say the state, is that the Iowa High School Athletic Association, Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, or the Department of Education?
Yeah, so that's a great question. It's my understanding that the first level of the mediation goes to the association and the union. And like I said, just knowing and reading the history of newspaper articles, the state Department of Ed did get involved with the Tri-Rivers Big East, but of course that involved a lot of schools and stuff. And so maybe this is just going to be resolved with the association union. But it's my understanding that the appeal starts with the boys and the girls.
Another issue that I know you and I discussed when we had our initial conversation immediately after you got the job, and you brought it up in your interview as well, is the future of facilities in this district. Obviously, the elementary facility issue is something that has been talked about for quite some time, and the community has yet to get a resolution on that issue. I know there's been talk about the downtown area related to the district and the city of Decorah and what the future of Hively Drive will look like. Where is that conversation at?
So that conversation is in a planning stage. The city and the district jointly hired an architect firm called Bolton Menk to come to town, and they've been meeting with stakeholder groups. So the district had their meeting. I think the city's going to have a meeting, And then I believe maybe like a chamber business group's going to have a meeting. That summary should be coming out, like an executive summary with recommendations type thing, should be coming out later in August, early part of September. I can tell you that I don't know, I can't predict what the final outcome is going to be, and of course it'd be a little unfair for me to say that, but what probably pleases me the most, I'd like this process to go a little faster, but what pleases me the most is, district isn't just looking at, we're looking at what's best for the school, but also the community. And I'm getting good feedback from the city on the same thing, like what works for Decorah. There'd be some school districts that would say, we're not going to worry about, tennis courts or ball fields because those are the city issues. And that's not the case here. We're all kind of working on what solution is going to work the best for everyone. So we'll look for Bolton and Minks to kind of get out that summary later in the month, early next month, and that'll kind of help us with next steps with planning, and that should give us the information to say, okay, let's all agree on what's the best plan for the city.
You mentioned you would like a quicker resolution than probably is possible on this front at this time. Where's the balance between timeliness on this issue and doing it right?
Yeah. And I just say maybe there's like, I wasn't going to do that in like my first month or two on the job. I just know it's been an issue that's been there for the community for a few years. I think maybe there was a study in about 2007 that kind of indicated that we needed to build a new John Klein. So the timing for this, if we could get a plan that we could all agree on this fall, this winter, and start coming up with plans, and referendum wise, we'd be looking at probably a year from now, the fall, and that would align us. That could align us pretty nicely with. We've got some other borrowing that we've done for school buildings that are coming off of our levy. So it's the kind of thing where as one falls off, that's an opportunity to add one back into the tax rate. So, there's no rush on it. It's just, I think it's progressing at a nice pace right now. And as long as everything falls in place, we should be just fine. But
and if I remember correctly, you're limited on the dates that you can have referendums, correct?
Yeah. So there used to be a deal where you could only have referendums, or you could, you'd wait 2 or 3 months and you'd have another referendum. So we are limited on, we're not going to be, we want to obviously have a referendum, and a referendum that works, and just have it once. So you tie that to an existing election. And so maybe we'd be looking at probably the earliest would be the fall of 2023. So we got a lot of work to do before we get to that point, though, for sure.
Another issue that went before the school board on Monday night was the North Winneshiek building. Of course, that facility has not been used since 2018, 2019, when that was the last year of the North Winneshiek district before its merger with Decorah. How did that conversation go?
So the conversation with the board last night, we had a motion to approve creating a RFP, request for proposal, to hire an auctioneer to auction off that property. And so what that means is for the September meeting, I'll have the RFP, and I can go out and solicit. I can, get 5 different auctioneers to respond to the proposal. And then the board at the September meeting can look over the RFP and the auctioneers, and they could select one, which would then come up with a date to have an auction of the property. So we're looking at trying to capitalize on, having that building has been mostly empty. It did house a little bit of the homeschool program, but it's going to be virtually empty this year. We just want to make sure that because there have been some folks that have expressed interest in the property, and hopefully they'll participate in the auction process, and then they're getting a building that's still in, decent shape, as opposed to if it's 5 years down the line, it's just not going to be as nice a building. So anyway, so the timeline for that will be September's meeting will be bring in the responses to the RFP from auctioneers and have a plan that way with the board.
And of course, school's going to start in now less than 2 weeks, August 23rd, I believe, the school start date, because that's when the state says that's going to be the school start date.
Yeah.
What happens between now and then? What type of preparation is taking place? When do the teachers come back to get ready for the year? What type of timeline is the district on right now?
Yeah, great. Lots of stuff happens between, this is one of the busiest times of the year for school staff. So we're still finishing up hiring, but I'm knocking on wood right now that we've got our teachers all hired and most of our associates. But starting next Monday, we'll bring in our new teachers for their new teacher orientation. That's on Monday. That's a 2-day workshop. The Para Academy, so that all the para educators come in on Tuesday. And then we have all teachers report on August 17th. And those days there's lots of meetings, bringing people up to speed on district initiatives. There's district-wide initiatives we have, but there's also building level meetings. So that's just kind of all getting ready to start a school. There's a little bit of always a little bit of time for teachers to have to get their room ready for the year, and that gets us ready for August 23rd. So starting on a Tuesday this year, so that's nice. A 4-day week instead of a 5-day week, kind of ease into the summer, or ease out of summer into the school year.
Anything else you want to pass on to the districts? What's your overall message to district residents, community members, as the 2022-2023 school year commences here in a couple of weeks?
Well, I would just say we're excited for the start of school and welcome the children back. I feel like just talking to an employee today that we're looking forward to more of a normal type school year with being able to get stuff, supply. So I'm not going to say return to the way it was, but getting back to business and being more normal in our day-to-day operations. We're pretty excited about that. If there was one little pitch, if anybody out there has any desire to be a bus driver, whether it be a sub driver or route driver, that's going to be one of our hard to fill areas. There's just a lot involved in that process, but if somebody wanted to take it on, district will support that process and get you started on that. So we just want to make sure that we have enough drivers to get students to and from school, of course, but then to all the activities that we have after school, whether it be athletic or academics. So, but yeah, I'd say we're not ready for school to start tomorrow, but we're excited and we'll be ready in 2 weeks for sure.
Tim, we appreciate your time. Thanks for giving us an update on where things are as we're about ready to commence another type of year. I know as a kid, I probably didn't look forward to August, but as a lifelong educator like yourself and a family of educators like yourself, it's probably one of your favorite months of the year. We appreciate the time this morning.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I should say we're excited for school to start, even for maybe the little boys like Darren out there who weren't ready for school to start. We'll take them all.
All right, Tim Cronin, the superintendent of the Decorah Community School District. So, Spencer Cuvelier getting ready for the season for the UNI Panthers. You missed the latter portion of the fall campaign last year. Spence, how you doing health-wise?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Like we were just talking about before, I had surgery in December and got cleared in May. And then once May hit, I just hit the ground running and been working out since, or I got fully cleared in May. So May, June, July, I was working out with the team and things like that, kind of getting back into, being full go. And then, to be completely honest with you, it's one of the best I've ever felt coming into a fall camp. So very, very excited.
Obviously, your body didn't allow you to play, but we don't focus a lot on the mental end of things when you want to be out there, but your body isn't allowing that. How difficult is that? Yeah,
and there's guys going through that process right now, actually. And so, it's stressful, and all you want to do, it's kind of funny because like when you're practicing, it's like, oh, I don't really want to be out here. But then the moment you take one day off, it's like, God, I don't want to watch these guys practice without me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just you almost take it for granted, how lucky and how important health is, especially being on the football field. And so when you get your season taken away by injury or anything along those lines, it wears on a guy. But I'm just blessed that I'm able to come back and play another season.
I've gotten a lot of press releases about you. You're getting a lot of preseason recognition. I can't imagine that's a bad thing, but is there an expectation that comes with that, or is it just a case of, you know what, if I go out and do what I do, the recognition will eventually come, and the postseason recognition is more important?
Yeah. To me, I kind of view that as noise in a way. I try not to think too much about it. I'm just going to go out there, and whether I get an award or preseason accolade or not, I'm still going to go out there and play to the best of my ability, or try to play to the best of my ability. And so I try not to let anything like that alter, how I get ready for a game, or alter how I work out throughout the season and things like that. I'm pretty consistent on what I do. I'm pretty disciplined on what I do, and if I get an accolade for something preseason, then so be it. But that's I honestly look at something like that as more of a team award, if you want to say that, before the season. Just because I may make more tackles than the guy next to me doesn't mean the guy next to him isn't doing his job too. I'm just out there trying to do my job every play, just like the guy besides me. And so I think that's just kind of I hope it just puts UNI's defense on the radar a little bit, because we got a lot of guys who are really good.
And one recognition I will ask you about, you've been recognized for your community service and your outreach, and you're one of, I believe, about 35 guys in college football that's been up for that award. How important is it to reach out to the community? How important is it to sell that whole aspect of being a part of something bigger than yourself and giving back?
Yeah, and I've always kind of thought about this, but being a college football player gives me a little bit of a platform to be able to do some things like that, and whether that's for right or wrong, trying to reach out and help as many people as I possibly can, and it helps that they're able to know me because of college football, and so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's kind of cool to be awarded for something that is kind of behind the scenes, but ultimately, it's. Jeez. Yeah,
I know you're trying to be humble, but I'm trying to talk you up a little bit.
No, I am, and I'm proud of it. I am. I am proud to receive an award such as that, or be up for an award such as that. And so, it's pretty cool.
How rewarding is that, those experiences that have given you that recognition when you're out in the community and, say, helping out kids or helping out other community players, and they realize that, hey, UNI football cares about us and Spencer cares about us?
Yeah, no, and I think, and Coach probably preaches this too, it's really about giving back at the end of the day. Like I said, we're given a platform that a lot of college students aren't given, and so with that platform comes with some responsibility. And so if we're able to give back to the youth or people in our community, that's what it's all about.
You got a lot of new faces, at least coaching wise, on the defensive side of the ball. I know Coach Farley says it's taking a little while to get the coaches up to speed. Probably he's talking to them a little bit more than you guys right now. As a leader of this defense, do you see yourself in a role to make that transition as smooth a one as possibly can take place?
Yeah, absolutely. I really trying to help them. It helps that we have a lot of veterans and older guys who know the defense on defense, and so we're able to kind of help through the coaches through some of the nuances throughout our defense and defensive calls, being able to help them and just kind of show them maybe things that Farley tells them the defense, but he might not go intricate like the things that we know, and so just kind of helping the young guys that way. And helping the coaching staff in any way we can as they continue to help us.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique situation Coach Farley just talked about. There's guys in this team that have been here 6-7 years. Yeah. There's guys on this team that'll contribute that haven't been here 6 months. How do you mesh those two?
Yeah, no, it's we have a lot of good camaraderie around our football team, I feel like, and we got a lot of tight-knit groups of guys. I feel like our defense is one of those groups. I feel like we're very tight-knit, and I feel like we all get along in different ways. And so we have some guys that are JUCO transfers, and then, to be honest with you, those are some of my favorite guys, because I know kind of the process that they took, and I've been in those shoes, and so I feel like I have a little connection towards them and try to help them in any way I can, because I know how they feel coming into a brand new place, just like I was when I transferred in.
How good can this defense be?
The sky's the limit. I think that's always the case. we've been good for the past years, but to be honest, that really doesn't mean much. It's just about what we do this year. And so just nose to the grindstone, working hard every day, and that's just what it's going to come down to.
You look at your first game, it's at Air Force, a little higher elevation than Cedar Falls, Iowa. You're also facing an offense that you probably won't see the rest of your career here at UNI. Those two things together, how big of a challenge is that first game?
Yeah, well, it will be challenging, but it's also exciting. I've never played a triple option team here at UNI, and so it'll be a great challenge, and they're good. And I think in their last bowl game, I think they threw the ball 2, maybe 3 times, and so it's going to be one I'm going to strap my helmet up for real tight. So I'm looking forward to it.
And yeah, you might be done in about 2.5 hours in a game like that too, right?
Absolutely.
So, and overall, what are your personal goals this year? What do you want to see? I know you're going to say wins are most important. Team-wise, that is going to be always the case. But what do you want to see out of yourself this year?
Yeah, you know what? And I thought you were going to ask that question. So last night I was going to have some goals set for you. And so one of my personal goals is that I plan to stay healthy this year. And like we were talking about before, health is just, it's. Health is just the most important thing going through football, and so that'd be probably my number one goal. My second goal, I want to help these younger guys get up to speed and help them learn as much as they possibly can, especially in the linebacker room. We have a lot of good linebackers that are up and coming, and I'd like to just teach them everything I know before I'm gone. And then my last goal is really to take this all in and enjoy it, because after this fall, that's it. This is my last camp as a Panther, and I've enjoyed every second of it. I'm just going to try to continue to enjoy it.
What's it mean being named a captain?
Everything. That's everything to me. That's probably my biggest accomplishment of my entire career as a football player, is having a group of guys vote me as their captain. It's a great honor.
Good luck this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you to our guest on the program this morning, Kathy Schwartzhoff with Helping Services for Youth and Family. The mentoring event taking place tonight at the Landing in Decorah. Free ice cream. You can talk about mentoring, but you get free ice cream too. So stop by the Landing tonight from 5:30 until 6:30. Lansing Fish Days. Tara Kolsrud joined Val Reinke, and we want to thank Val for letting us take some of her work. Don't forget to listen to Wow Who Knew. The podcast is available at the KNEI Facebook page. Also, you can hear it on Bluff Country 103.5 KNEI, Wednesday afternoons at 5:15 and Saturday mornings at 7:30. I want to thank New Decorah Superintendent Tim Cronin for informing us on a few issues that are taking place within the district itself. And we also want to thank Spencer Cuvelier, the Crestwood graduate and UNI linebacker and team captain for this fall. We had a chance to chat with him earlier this week at Media Day for UNI, and we wish him best of luck this fall. I want to thank each and every one of you for consuming this product in whatever way, shape, or form that you do. Don't forget, we put it on YouTube each and every week. We realize you can't get to a streaming device or a radio all the time at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning, but we want to bring you the content that we deliver to you on a timely basis for you. So head to the YouTube site for today's show. Just go 811 Our Town Program. And that is the place where you can get your YouTube version of Our Town. We also post the link on all of our Facebook pages for LA Communications, Bluff Country 103.5, KNEI 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Don't forget Hawk Rock 100.5 and 104.7 KVIK. Another way we bring you the community-minded content that we produce right here at LA Communications. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust. Most importantly, thank you for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching Our Town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.